is a normal backplate, and this is the smaller one. So I'm at the same level down, so you can actually see that this is quite a bit smaller. So for very small, tiny people, that's actually a great option. So also you see at the attachment points for the storage pack, and you see the holes here, so that gives you a pretty good idea of the scale. And what we do today is we put the harness together. I actually think I did that at some point, but I can't find the video, and there was quite a few people who requested it. So this is a one-piece webbing. What I did is I just put a hole in here, basically by just folding it, cutting a little triangle, and then burning it down so there's a hole where the bolt goes through. And I'll show you how to route that. So most important thing is that you have this exactly in the middle, so the two parts are the same length, and then it goes like this, because it then messing everything up here. So that's the first step. And then we go like this. Once. Twice. That's part number 2. Looks like this from the back. And now you also see where that hole has to be and why we have it there. And now we already talk about the shoulder straps. So obviously we want our D-rings to be somewhere here. So that's the next thing we do. We have the D-ring and the bungee for the inflator hose, the second D-ring for the right side, and then we have 2 triglides, and then after that we'll have a couple of rubber bicycle inner tubings for our backup lights. So first thing, put this through here, we put the D-ring in there, and then we have our D-ring number 1. Same story here, number 1, and then the little bungee, and this one. And so I mean they need to be readjusted once the person has it on anyway, but just a rough idea where they go. And then, oops. Alright, so that's the next step. So now we have these bungees. Something I absolutely hate.
Das ist doch mit dem D-Ring.
Yeah, I know. There's actually, we made this smart video where we showed how to put these on. So now I'm the prime example for not using that. Not good. So these are on as well. Same here. Number 1. And the second one, I mean, we have two now because they came. I sometimes actually put even more on because when they break, I'm usually too lazy to undo the whole webbing. And so when one breaks, I mean, you have another one that you can just slide up a little bit. So now, what a lot of people do wrong is how to go in here. So the webbing needs to follow the shape of the body, which means it has to curve in, and then it goes to the inner slot. Just want to show you that. So it curves in towards the body, okay? And then it goes to the outer slot. So here you definitely want to use the tri-glides with the teeth, simply because you do not want this to be a slider. I frequently see this. Actually, I've recently had a few that were like without tri-glides, because oh yeah, I can pull on this. Yeah, but you don't want to pull on this. You want this adjusted once properly, and then there's no need to pull on it, and it ruins the idea of the fixed backplate. So that's number one from those. Same goes for this one. It curves in. So if you would do it like this, just to show you once, this would be actually uncomfortable because it creates like an edge down here. It doesn't curve in. So you want this to follow the contour of the body. Pull this through around about the same, like this. So again, we need to readjust this anyway, or do some fine-tuning. So now what we're looking for is basically a D-ring that I don't see here at the moment. Okay, anyway, on the left side we get a D-ring that goes here, not the point at the moment. You've seen how I put a D-ring on for our SPG. You'll find that later. And then at the same, we put our cutting tool or tools, whatever you want to do, because then comes the buckle, and the buckle obviously prevents these things from falling out. And the way I do this is I come in from the top, then through the middle from the back, and then one steers, and then I go back out, and then you could theoretically route it back here, which I normally don't do because this is way easier and faster to basically adjust it. Alright, so on the right side there's nothing, and that's basically it. So the next part is the crotch strap, which I'll show you now. Alright, so there was obviously a quick break, so now there's a D-ring here, not the nicest one, actually quite interesting. And now we do the crotch strap. So crotch strap comes like pre-assembled. You've seen all kind of different variations. This one actually is sewn here, so has a fixed loop, and that obviously has to be like this. And so the D-ring's already in here, so we come from the back through that slot, and then we route it through this here once more. That's a bit more flexible and thinner material than this one. This I think is 2.2 if I remember correct. So Liam's nodding, so I'm probably alright. And this one, I don't know. You know how much that is?
1 mil.
1 millimeter. So basically just the same as the other one. And now we have our crotch strap, so we have a bit of inner tubing here as well to secure the excess webbing. And we are good to go. So now we basically have everything on that we need. There is this pad on top, if you need that or not. Well, we'll install it in the end. What we do now is we'll install our single tank adapter, and that means we need our wing. So in case Woody is watching that, he's probably jealous now about the color. So we put that on the inside of the wing, and if you watch that carefully, I mean, there's two options how you can mount it. I think this is the better one, and the adapter goes on the back side. Alright, so here we have the first screw with the washer, so there's no metal to metal contact here between the stainless screw and the aluminium plate, and so that's number one. And then we have number two. So as you see, we were fiddling around a little bit with the size of these screws. And figured out we need the longer ones. So a plastic washer also here, the spring washer, and the wing nut on top. So now we have basically most of the things assembled. So what we need now is the cam bands, and the cam bands, I think we made a video about this recently. They get some trim weight pockets. I prefer the trim weight pockets to be on top. So we get this as far through as possible. And you'll understand in a second why. So we have that pocket as close here as we can, and then we put the second one in here, so we are symmetrical. And now I'll also show you how to route it, because a lot of people struggle with that. So you always put it in so this would follow the outline of the tank, right? That's the easy way to remember, so you have it not flipped around. And then you do not go somewhere here, you go through the back here and come out in the middle slot. And then you go back through this one. And now you have this ready to go. So there's a second one, same thing, we want this to follow the curve of the tank. We go back here through that middle slot, and then route it back, and we are ready to go. So that's the wing on the backside. So this then goes through the bungee here, and now we can put this one on. This pad again, that's absolute personal preference if you need that or not. I mean, for sure it doesn't hurt.
Das ist ein Storage Pack, das gibt es nur in keiner anderen passenden Größe für die Backplate.
Yeah, it's a good point from Liam here. there is a story. I mean, it's considered a storage pack. I'm just not sure what you want to store there. I mean, condoms maybe. So, in all honesty, that probably doesn't really work as a storage pack. But I mean, it gives it a nice touch. It doesn't hurt. And if somebody is like, oh, I like this, then why not? So the plastic thing goes through the back plate, this one goes on top, and then you basically screw this down here. I'm not gonna bore you with 5 more of these screws, but that's basically how you set up a new single wing, or how you set up every backplate. Liam just made a good point. So what we normally do is we attach all of these, but we leave the bottom ones up. Reason is that you can flip this up and have access to that screw, whilst otherwise that's a real pain in the butt to go in there. And I mean, that just holds down because it sits flat against your back, so that's not an issue. So especially if you assemble it for doubles, because that's where you constantly have to go. I mean, when this one is once screwed down, you normally do not assemble it, but then if you have to access that screw, you would have to take these off. So that's actually a very smart move to leave these unscrewed. All right, so hope that helps. If you have questions, comments, whatever, put them in the comment section. If you like the content, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you in the next one.